So the identities that, you were picking up were all epigenetic. And what that means is outside forces or environment that are acting above your divine nature, meaning you're unaware as a kid of what your nature actually is. The only way a person learns to live in a physical reality is through their family, all the situations that they grow up around, their school, their church, their community. All those things have the influence and are the most influential factors at how a person develops the mindset that they're now trying to change, right? So those are epigenetic factors. In other words, you learn thug life, street life, how to talk to women, not because you consciously chose those things, but those were the things that help build your mind from the youngest age to your
Absolutely.
adult age. Does that make sense? And so, and so when you have those experiences from those teachings, those experiences are what we call, that's neuroscience. So if I have an experience that is strong enough for my body to remember it, whether a person is losing their virginity, whether they get drunk for the first time, high for the first time, these are all experience that the brain gets some kind of dopamine hit from. And when that happens, again, there's that neuropeptide that leaves the brain, enters the bloodstream, and then it key locks into the cells, and the body remembers it and records it as an experience. And so, because we like that dopamine hit, we try to get it over and over and over again, right? So the first time that somebody said, yo, don't raise the man because he did X, Y, and Z, you're like, yo, I'm gonna do that
Yeah.
again, right? He did this, yo, I'm gonna do that again. So what happens is you start programming the body through your actions and thoughts. So you do that enough times, the body becomes automatically programmed to behave that way. So even when you consciously know that what you're doing is wrong and that is harmful to yourself, the body is now in control and the body is the passenger. So you could be well on your way to buy back dope, go and get something to drink, go get something to smoke on, knowing all the while you don't really want to do it, but the mind is the passenger now and the body is actually the mind. So
Abs-
it's acting as the driver because everybody that's listening, yeah, so everybody listening has been, we've all been in that situation where we're doing something that we consciously know is not okay. We know it's not right. We know it's harm to self, but yet the body's
Perfect
doing it
sense. You
anyway.
just put a whole lot of
Does that make
clarity on
sense?
it.
Right. So this then leads to the other misconception about religion because people are like, oh, I gave my life to Christ. Why isn't this working? Or prayer's not working, or this is not working. And it's not that it's not working, it's like what you said. You spent 30 something years building this identity, but you have to reprogram the mind. And in order to do that, you have to have a whole new mental diet so that it can actually reprogram the body. Right. So and so what happens is when we're unaware of who we are and what we're capable of, this is what we call like the fall from grace. So what that means is before I found out who I was, I've been acting in my senses and in my feelings my entire life. And I've done it so much that my body's actually in control. So I might fall victim to cravings, right? Whatever cravings that person might be. Some people find comfort in their food, some with drugs, some with sex, some are thrill seekers, driving a car fast or whatever it is, you know, they need that dopamine hit. They need it. So that means that person is all about the feeling. They're all in what we call the flesh, right? So the mind is not in control, the body's the body and the feelings are in control. And so this is how you know you're out of alignment because the body's doing what it wants, although the mind wants to do something else. So our mind should never be subject to the physical body ever. But most of us are living like that. So we know we're in control. Back then what I was teaching was self-mastery. We know that we're self-mastered when the body is now under submission to the mind, right? Yeah. So I wanted to point that out. And of course, like I said, I'll continue to point that in the answers you give, just so I'm showing people what the methodology actually means, right?